My name is Mike Shatz, and I'd actually like to talk about cameras today. And when I say cameras, I'm talking about small cameras that clip to police officers' hats or their sunglasses. And it's my understanding that we already have about 45 of these cameras in use right now by the Wichita Police Department, which I think is a great start. But I'm going to be going to the state legislature in the near future and trying to get a mandate statewide to have every officer in the state wearing one of these cameras. And I'm going to kind of explain why. I don't think anybody's really opposed to the cameras themselves. It ends up being a money issue. But these cameras are just wonderful. They've been using them in Rialto, California. I'm not sure of the size of their police department, but they started a pilot program where they got 74 cameras for $100,000. And that cost included the chargers and all the accessories that go with storing the information and everything. And they saw an 88% reduction in the number of complaints against police officers. But that's really only half of the story, probably not even half of the story. The real benefit to our officers is that they're recording the suspects too. You're getting a bird's eye view of what the officer is seeing. And this ends up being very useful information in court. Now, I believe that Chief Williams and I, for once, are in agreement on this issue. And I'm going to go ahead and quote Chief Williams now from November of 2012. In this day and age, anytime you can have an incident on camera, that's an asset, especially when it comes to charging somebody. Capturing that information on camera is worth its weight in gold. I would agree. And then Captain Brent Allred, just about a month and a half ago, said that 99% of the officers favor these cameras. So our officers want them. So I'm kind of here today to ask, how can we get the money? And I've been looking at forfeiture funds, but it's my understanding that they cannot be used for budgeted items. They have to be used for non-budgeted items, whereas we already have a budget that is, obviously not quite enough for these cameras. So is there a way we can amend the budget? Is there a way that we could look at possibly buying a few less of these very expensive SUVs that our department keeps buying? Because, just probably 2 of those SUVs would give us $100,000 for 74 more cameras. And there might even be cheaper ways to get these cameras. I haven't done all the research into the cost. But it seems like everybody wants these cameras. They're of great benefit to our community. They're of benefit to the officers. They're of benefit to the people who claim that they're victims of police misconduct. One way or the other, they're going to benefit everyone. I haven't seen any harm come from the dash cams that are on almost every police car in the nation now. Nothing bad has ever happened because we have these cameras up. And so I'd like to, take any questions or any input on how we could get this money. Can we hold a fundraiser to get the money? Because there's a lot of support for this in the community as well. What could actually be done to get the money? Because before I go to the state, I would love to have the largest city in Kansas already on board and having done, this without being mandated. So, leave it open for questions. Oh, and I'd like to add that, the cost may seem high, but we're going to save money. That's been found in Rialto. They've saved quite a bit of money just in not having to investigate things because they've got it on camera, not having to prosecute people because they plead guilty after seeing themselves on camera. And I would guess that practically every person in this room right now has some form of a camera on them. So, we've all got cameras. I don't see why we can't get one on every police officer.
Well, certainly, if you choose to hold a fundraiser yourself, you can certainly do that. And there's additional things that we would have to figure out, with the chief, as far as the recording, the history, the additional stuff. Yes, we have them, but, do we have the space to be able to store it? There's a lot of technical things we have to figure out, but, so it's a little more than just purchasing the camera that's involved in it. But you're certainly welcome to have your fundraisers or do whatever you're wanting to do and whatever is necessary there.
I'd like to add, if it's okay, that the cost cost that I cited for the $100,000 for the 74 cameras, that included the storage and everything, the technology. I know you guys looked at this some years ago, and the expenses were very high. But today, this stuff is really relatively very cheap because the technology is advanced.